I know that today we are all talking about this brand new Nikon 35mm f1.2, but there's another announcement that passed under the radar, and it's the Nikon P1100. Still teeny tiny sensor, but with a great optical zoom. Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thomas here from One and Solely, and today we're gonna talk again. We just discussed it a few days ago, the coming back, because all the camera companies want to take back all the users that along the years switched to shooting with smartphones, either stills or videos, and so they are going back to developing new compact cameras, bridge cameras, whatever cameras they can sell to those folks that are not interested in particular details, if not a big reach. And so this P1000 that we said a few days ago, if you missed the episode, please find it up here, was spiking in price because it was more and more rare. Today has been substituted officially by the P1100. Now, they didn't describe thoroughly the camera, so we still have to go through the full specs list. Basically, the only doubt that I am left with is the sensor. Is it still the teeny tiny sensor, not even a 1-inch sensor, 16 megapixel that they had already in the P1000, or is it a brand new one? I was hoping to see at least a 1-inch sensor, so that camera would be on par with competitors. I'm referring to the Sony RX10, but this might not be the case. So new news about this camera: not the body, not the zoom. It's still a 24 to 3000 mil equivalent reach, plus the additional digital zoom, which I don't consider, but can get you up to 6000 mil reach. It's impressive, it's unbelievable. But why do we need that much of a zoom if the sensor is teeny tiny? It's not so bright, the pixels don't gather much light, the glass, it's at f2.8 to f8, so it's not too bright itself. And with a teeny tiny sensor, I know by experience that if you're shooting wildlife, that might not be so well defined. And so they implemented a few features, let's say variations, coming from the P1000 that enhanced the user experience. First among all, they had a dedicated, on the PASM wheel, that's a dedicated way to shoot birds. So I'm trying to make things smoother and easier for all the users that are coming from smartphones, because over there they don't really think about the settings for the camera, they just know what outcome they want. And so I saw Nikon trying to integrate this outcome mindset into the camera. So in the PASM wheel, you will have the dedicated settings for shooting birds and dedicated tracking. Still, they didn't say if it's a phase detect or contrast based AF tracking. Second thing is that they will have a dedicated settings on that wheel if you want to shoot fireworks, and so there will be overlapping different shots so that you can stack different images. And this is a good help for the fireworks, so you don't need to post-process it on your computer. And then they will have a dedicated way of shooting the moon. I don't know what for, but if you have that much reach, you might want to shoot craters of the moon, hence the claim reach for the stars. I don't understand it, but I will be able probably to play with it if it's in my hands sooner or later. And the most important features of them all, because if you want to shoot wildlife with that camera, which is a bridge camera, the most frustrating thing, I talk by experience because I had the P950 in my hands for a few weeks to play with it, not the P1100, not the P1000, but the P950, and I thought that with that bridge camera, the most frustrating thing to me was that the zoom. It's a power zoom, so you will have to switch the lever and wait for it to reach, and then once you are that far away with your reach, maybe you're not able, or it might be challenging to identify and have your subject in the frame, because, well, it's such a tiny framing when you have that much reach and then you don't know where in the sky you are pointing to, and you really want to have your bird in the frame. And so in this camera they integrated a new command, which is a button that zooms out for a while very quickly so you can reframe and track your subject and then re-zoom in once you acquired it. That's a thing that it might help. I don't know if you guys ever tried to experience wildlife photography, but this is one of the things, especially with birds, that might be frustrating if you're using a bridge camera, while if you're using a mirrorless or a DSLR, with the zoom it's like a 3/4 of a turn and you zoom in and out, and that's almost immediate. But with the power zoom and a bridge cam, that might be a limitation. So they tried to solve some issues that they had on the previous version, but nothing really changed. It has a 4 f-stops compensation for stabilization, so whether you want to shoot stills or record videos up to 4K 30p if that needs, because once you're out there shooting at wildlife, maybe you also want to record videos. If you have that much reach, why not? It's a nice to have. Then you have some bit of a stabilization so you can shoot handheld, and as a bridge camera it's not so big, it's not so bulky, it's not so heavy, despite once extended, of course, that glass it's on par to proper glasses for mirrorless cameras. So guys, nothing new, if not this will from Nikon and other camera brands to take back the users that switch to smartphones around the ears, and also this change that I see, maybe you don't. Nikon tries to please those users without having that much controls, wheels, toggles, buttons, levers to change the camera settings, but rather to give them a quick way to get the end results that they are looking for. These are minor things, but that will change dramatically the experience. So please let me know down here in the comments if you ever tried the P950, P1000, if you're looking into the P1100, and what is your evaluation of it, because in my humble opinion the sensor is still too tiny to fully enjoy that magnificent reach that we have from the Nikon glass. I don't remember it being so darn sharp, but maybe 3000 mil reach, it's just way too much. We just cannot comprehend and compose properly in a frame. So with that, I hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please remember to like it, share it on your social media, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the reviews to come, and I guess I will see you later. Thank you. Bye bye.